Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for coming to our development plan consultation meeting. My name is Denis Malone, as you can see from the slide there, and I'm Senior Planner with the Kenny Local Authority. So I'm going to just give you a short presentation. It'll cover the format for tonight, some introductions about myself and the people helping with the team, what's the development plan, a little bit about the process, and a little bit about on retailing for the city and county, as was from my perspective, and some things to consider then around that. Also tonight, part of the format is the heritage topic will be covered by the Council's Conservation Officer, Dervla, so she'll give you a short 10-minute presentation as well, following on from myself. So I said two short presentations, about 10 minutes each. First one will cover the process and retailing, second one a bit of heritage. Then looking at the groups tonight, similar format. I see some of you from previous meetings here. We'll break into just, I'd say, 2, maybe 3 discussion groups depending on the size. We'll have a 30-minute discussion around the topics. Each group will select a reporter and then discuss the issues. The reporter then will report back to the meeting, general meeting. And after that, we'll have a general questions and answer session, so you can open the floor either about retailing or about any other topic you wish to talk about. And at the end of all that, we'll have some tea and coffee. So just a quick on the introduction to myself, Denis Malone. We have Katrina Bambrick and Jane O'Reilly here are part of the team that will actually write up the development plan. And as I said tonight, also Dervla, our heritage officer, will give a short overview about heritage and the city and the county. So what is a development plan? Well, we have 2 development plans in the county, one for the city and environs, covers the built-up area of the city, and then a separate one then that covers the county. Plans like this are supposed to be strategic in their outlook. So it looks at the bigger picture for the city and county. And it's the main instrument that we use as a local authority to regulate and control development within the council's area. And it also has an important role in protecting the environment and in heritage. But I suppose the main thing about it is and this is a bit jargony, but it gives a spatial expression to the economic and social and cultural needs. So what that means really is that we take the needs as we see it in terms of consultation with the public and what the council itself wants to achieve, and that's put into a spatial expression. So where do you put things like schools, hospitals, new roads, all that kind of thing. So it's mapped out, and there's a written text to go with that. So to give you just a few examples of what has happened then over the years, going back 2 development plans to 2002, we had a number of objectives in that, and I'll just show you those as examples. So in 2002, McDonough Junction railway station was designated for retail development and redevelopment. And we also had, on a county-wide scale, we had a development objective to enhance Woodstock Gardens. And then moving to 2008, we had, for the city, we had an objective there to complete the River Nore Linear Park. And again, on a county-wide basis, to deliver a water supply for Bellevue area, that's the Bellevue port in South Kilkenny. So what has happened in those situations? Well, even the photograph there, and I'm sure as you've been around, McDonough Junction is built out and is trading. Woodstock Gardens money has been diverted to that and pumped into it, and that has been developed and is a significant amenity for the county. And also in more recent times then we've had the Linear Park has been developed, and the Bellevue water supply has been delivered. So that was opened, that was officially opened there in February of this year. A few other things that have happened on a retailing side, again, just to give a flavour for the topic that we're discussing. There was an application for Tesco, a supermarket for Tesco in Callan, that was refused, planning permission. A Lidl application was granted in Thomastown. Aldi refused in Thomastown. Aldi granted in Callan. And I suppose a big one for the city was the City Market development was refused here. So I suppose what I'm trying to illustrate there is that depending on the policies and objectives that you put into the plan, this influences decisions that come out through the planning process. And so where are we now with the new plan? Well, We currently have a plan in place that runs from 2008 to 2014, and part of the job here is that we start to review that for a new plan in 2012, so 2 years before the old one expires. So the new plan will run from 2014 to 2020, and the process officially kicked off on the 15th of June this year. And at the moment, we're in the pre-draft stage, so we're doing a lot of background work, bit of research. We've issued papers that are here tonight, and these issued papers are just a means of trying to stimulate debate and comment. And the meetings here we have and the articles in the newspaper is part of an awareness campaign that we're trying to make people aware of the process and look for their feedback. And the public process runs until the 24th of August. So we'll be taking submissions, written submissions by letter or email up until the 24th of August. So a few things on tonight's first theme then, on retailing. It'll have to be a county-wide strategy. Retailing doesn't recognise county boundaries or administrative boundaries. And since the year 2000, I suppose, when we were first obliged to have a retail strategy, there's been a big increase in floor area devoted to retailing since that time. We kind of estimate that there's almost 4,500 people employed in retailing in the county, and with the main focus of that being around Kilkenny City. So just by observation you'll see that the greatest concentration of retailing is in the city, and this just illustrates that. It's a slide I just got put together today. We have just over 79,000 square metres of retail space in and around Kilkenny City. Now that includes all major types of retailing, whether it be retail warehousing, whether it's Woodies out on the Ring Road, or whether it's Electrocity or Dunn stores, you name it. That's all of the city centre, so High Street, all that. And you can see where the other towns then are much more subsidiary to that. So we have Thomastown there being the highest at just over 4,000 square metres. So it gives you an idea of the scale that we're talking about. And maybe just as a comparison to that as well, I just looked up figures for Waterford City today. So if you think Waterford has a population of about 46,000, they have their gross retail space is about 112,000 square metres. So we're, if you like, punching above our weight in terms of the amount of retail space we support, given the size of the town. So just some trends then to maybe to consider and what you might look at. There's definitely a trend towards more online shopping. It's something I do myself. And if I'm doing it, there must be a lot of other people doing it because I'm not a shopper. Shopping is now also linked to social and leisure activities. So it's seen it's not a thing just you just go and do your shopping. There's other activities associated, whether it's going for a cup of coffee or whatever. Government focus, what I mean by that is central government. So the Department of the Environment are telling us your retailing, you should focus on town centre as keeping your town centres as vibrant and vibrant as possible. People's disposable income has gone down and seems to be still on the way down. Some figures I picked up from press reports recently. There's been a 2.7% decrease in sales is expected over the next 12 months. And all this is showing the continued weakness in the economy. So again, something I got from, I think it was the Irish Times, year-on-year sales fell by an average of 2.56% during the first quarter of 2012. And that in fact was the 12th consecutive quarter of decline in sales. Other trends that are happening, retailers are seeking larger footprints for stores. So if you're looking, if I'm the likes of, I just pick a name, say Boots or something like that, I'm looking for larger footprints to develop my stores. Now this contrasts in Kilkenny, where we have in the historic core, we don't really have those footprints to give them. So size and another issue that we might tap on later, just shop from design, which is again part of the retailing experience. These are constraints, I suppose, to a certain extent, as the retailer might perceive them. And just to hammer home the point, we're currently in austerity mode in the country. Some other things, just again, that we'll be looking at is 2008 vacancies have increased. So we've seen from our own floor space surveys, we've seen a substantial increase in vacancies throughout the county. There's more taxes and spending cuts coming in the next budget. But if we go through this, it is expected that the economy might turn and start growing again post 2015. And our population is still increasing, so we have the highest birth rate in Europe still, and the last census kind of proved that. So we saw the population, like for Kilkenny City now, topping out at around 26,000, coming up from 22,000 5 years previously. So maybe just a few thoughts to consider tonight. Where should we locate new retail in the city? Or where can we locate it? What role of towns like Callan and Thomastown, what should they be doing as servicing the local populations and its role relative to Kilkenny? Reuse of vacant properties. How can we encourage the smaller properties that are out there? How can we encourage good sustainable uses within them if the likes of the major retailers won't take them? And I said the economy is predicted to turn again by 2015. So if you take that, we're trying to plan from now, from 2014 to 2020. Well, what should we be saying about 2020? What policies do we need to put in there that we can, get a strong retailing environment in the city by 2020? So again, what's the likely scenario? So that's me. What I'll do is I'll hand over to Denis, and she'll give you a quick run through what some of the heritage issues for tonight, and I'll come back to you then at that stage for the next phase. Thank you.